2 days before the 4th of July of 2023, around 2 in the morning, Bob woke up with severe pain, ranking it an 8 out of 10 in his right upper trap region.
That's right. He was lying on his right shoulder, and he woke up with severe sharp pain in that shoulder, and it almost brought him to tears. Naturally, his wife woke up and said, "What's going on?"
Is that really what happened?
Called him a wimp.
Anyway, he actually considered going to the ER to seek some pain relief, but what did he try instead?
Well, actually, he tried something new, and the first thing of this new treatment actually worked. And we're going to show you exactly what it is.
Bob and Brad, the two most famous physical therapists on the internet.
Hello, I'm Brad.
I'm Mike, and behind the scenes we have Bob, and together we are the most famous physical therapy team on the internet.
Well, that was fast, in our opinion, of course, and please subscribe to this video, or us, the channel. Anyway, Sam is here as well. Now, I gotta make sure that everyone understands, Bob's wife did not call him a wimp, but she did wake up and she was concerned. Let's go on. I wanted to make sure that she's a nice woman. She'd never do that.
Yeah, she is a nice woman. Anyway, so the main thing that Bob actually noticed when it came to his shoulder pain is his pelvis on that side was actually elevated higher than his left side. Now, you may be wondering, what the heck does your pelvis have to do with shoulder pain? So Brad's going to explain.
Right, and this is a whole concept that Rick Olderman has actually figured out, and that's why things have been working out so well with his treatment. Now, if we look at the pelvis, if it tilts up, another thing oftentimes happens that gets overlooked is that same side shoulder blade or scapula gets depressed. In other words, if we look at it, it drops downward. As opposed to being where it should be, drops down. That causes this side bending to occur, and the pelvis comes up, and the distance between here and here and here and here becomes uneven. So we need to do some exercises to even up the help me out here.
Bring the scapula and the shoulder blade back into place, because when it's depressed, it's going to put a lot more tension on your shoulder and neck muscles like Bob was feeling at his house. Now, if you're unsure if you have this issue, you can look in a mirror on your back or have someone take a picture of your back. Oftentimes, you'll notice a fold in your skin on one side that is elevated and depressed. It's not just a fat fold. It may be actually a side bending problem.
That was excellent, Mike. Thank you. I pretty much got lost.
So what we're going to do is go through 3 different things Bob tried to fix this, and it actually worked for him. So we're going to get into that.
Very good. Let's get to it.
So the first thing we're going to address if you actually have a side bending problem is to lengthen these muscles out again. So if it's my right side, I'm going to go to a door frame. You can use the pull-up bar. Anything taller you can sort of hang from. If you struggle to reach something tall up, Brad will show another option in a second. My palm is facing away from me on the door frame here, and then I'm going to slowly bend my knees. I'm not going to fully hang, and then I'm just going to stretch into the door area, and I'm feeling a nice big stretch right here in all my side muscles, and really lifts up my rib cage.
And it's also elevating the scapula, which is one of the basics of the problem.
So if you're having some pain, you can just kind of sit here for 15 or 30 seconds. You can do it 2 to 3 times, or you can just spread it out randomly throughout the day anytime you walk through a doorway.
Now, you might be thinking, I can't reach my door frame, or I don't have a door trim that's worth anything. So like Mike mentioned, you can use something very simple like a stick that's about 4 to 5 feet long, a pool cue, doweling piece of PVC pipe. There's 2 ways to do it. You can do it seated, put this on the chair or the surface. You need a rubber tip. If you don't have that, simply take your shoe off or take it from the closet, put it in there, and then palm away, and then you just lean, and you can see right here, loose material tightens it up. Same thing happens with your muscles and the tissue in your side. And I'm leaning there. You can do it standing. I'll do it so you can see it from the back side. Up. Don't let go of it down. Don't let a hand slide down the stick. Keep it there. Lean, and I'm bending my knees just like Mike mentioned with the door frame, and I'm getting a nice stretch there, holding it for the same time duration and frequency that Mike had mentioned. Any questions?
No questions from
Okay.
me because we're explaining this, Brad.
There
but
you go.
Maybe the viewers have questions.
Well, I know. Just review it and, rewind it, check it out.
The next part we're going to talk about is another way to help elevate that depressed shoulder blade. So
The right one here.
yeah, but for filming's sake, I'm just going to show it on my left because it's closer to the camera. So what I'm
That's
going to
right.
do is put my pinky to my elbow on the wall, start in a low position, and then you're going to slide up the wall as far as you comfortably can. If you're having a lot of pain, you can only get this high. That's okay. You're going to hold it for a few seconds. 15, 30 seconds, come back down, make sure to breathe. Once you feel more comfortable, try to work up to the full range of motion and really think about pushing that scapula back up. You almost shrug a little. Well, you don't have to have someone literally push you, Brad, but
Well, I just want to emphasize that is the whole point of this is right here. Now it's moving. I can feel it move up. And these muscles are contracting to pull it up to get it up where it needs to be.
so what this does is it teaches those other muscles on top of your scapula to engage better as you go up, and it also stretches your lat muscles a little bit, which can become tight and pull down that shoulder blade.
There you go.
Now, if you get better over time and want to do this with both arms, I actually just like doing this with both arms and just hanging out here for a while.
There you go.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah, I don't know if I do it in public, but that works good at home.
I do it everywhere, anywhere I want to go, just in public.
All right, now let's talk about the pillows.
We will talk about some good positioning tips here, but we need to move our studio around.
Well, for the last thing and the third, now Bob says this is one of the most important things, and it's an ergonomic change that he made, particularly while he was working at the computer. And he found that, now Rick mentions that you should have armrests that support the weight of your arms while you're sitting for periods of time, for an hour or two or more. And now if you have a computer chair, you can do it if it's a good enough computer chair to do that. If you don't have that, we'll review that in a second. You can do it on this, and this is what Bob had. He did not have a computer chair, so what he did is you take pillows and you fold them like this, pillow right from your bed, and you squeeze it in between the stationary armrest and your body. It's comfortable. They squeeze right in there, and now I rest my forearms on those pillows. That takes the weight of your arms off of the shoulder, elevates that scapula or shoulder blade, and makes things much more comfortable. So this was one of the big things that was one of the culprits causing the problem. Now, what Bob did, because he's too tight to go buy a decent chair, he took one of these things and he cut it, which actually is a good idea. Cut it, taped it there with some duct tape, and then it worked, because these are very soft and comfortable. You really don't need to go out and buy a chair, but if you have one or you want to, it's okay, and show how you correct it if you happen to have an adjustable chair.
Bob has a computer chair. He's so tall he needed that.
Oh, really? I'm sorry, Bob.
You can see it right there. I see it behind him. Anyway, so if you could tell here, if I have a normal armrest down low, not paying much attention, you can see how much strain it can put on your upper trap and neck muscles here in your shoulder complex. This is going to, over time, start to bother you, especially if you got that forward head posture while you're working too. So just simply elevating these armrests up, you can see how much pressure that takes off of all these muscles and tension, and can help elevate it. So keeping it in a high raised position like this throughout your workday is going to be very beneficial, especially if you're stuck there for 8 hours.
Yeah, and if you're just sitting in the living room watching TV and you feel that shoulder being painful, it's a good idea to keep a pillow there as well. It may not have an armrest, but you tuck it in so that arm, and you'll feel it. When you put that pillow in there, it'll take the stress off that shoulder, and right away you're going to feel the pain decrease. So make sure you have plenty of pillows.
So all these tips we are recommending are from a physical therapist named Rick Olderman. You can find his stuff at rickolderman.com. That's olderman.com. And if you want to check out more videos on how to fix shoulder pain, click the video link on the screen.
There you go. Have a good day. We're reasonably sure that some of these exercises are going to help you with your shoulder pain, as it did with Bob.
Bob and